So I actually saw this interesting CNN article from Chris Cillizza, and it's because AOC came together with Chuck Schumer in New York to basically talk about and try to mobilize people against the replacement of RBG that's currently going on. But what it notes is that he believes that Chuck Schumer has taken a more left-wing turn as of recently, and he credits that to AOC and the rise of progressives, especially obviously in New York, because where's Chuck Schumer, a senator from New York, and Jamal Bowman has just defeated Elliot Engel there. Mondare Jones has taken the seat of Nita Lowey, and now you obviously already had AOC taking down Joe Crowley. So there's a bunch of wins going on in New York. And so that's what he attributes that to. But what's most interesting is that a lot of people are actually speculating a 2022 challenge to Chuck Schumer from the Senate. So this is really interesting, okay? We just saw Joe Kennedy try to do this. He tried to unseat Ed Markey in the Senate in Massachusetts. He failed to do so, which means he lost his House seat. When you run for president, you don't have to give up your seat. Now, I think you could... I don't think you can run for two seats at the same time, like in the House and Senate, I'm pretty sure. But it would definitely be a risk. But what's really interesting from this article, it says, for months, AOC has refused to rule out challenging Schumer from the left come 2022. I don't know. Honestly, this news cycle is so insane. Who knows where any of us are going to be in 2022? That's what she said back with her interview. That's AOC speaking. And it also, she also continued in that comment to say, I literally don't even think about this in any serious way. So, I don't know. So, clearly the way that she's going about addressing this is a way of what appears to be, I'm not going to rule it out. It could be really easy for her to rule it out and just be like, oh yeah, I'm definitely not going to do it. Although I think even that wouldn't necessarily be an indication that she wouldn't do it. But she's clearly leaving the door open for this. Now, Chuck Schumer is clearly somebody that progressives do not like and want to replace. Now, I am very sketch about whether or not Chuck Schumer is replaceable. I don't know how much of a sentimental value New York voters have with Chuck Schumer, but obviously he's the majority leader, the minority leader of the Democratic Party in the Senate, possibly going to be the majority leader come 2020 election. It's projected that the Democrats are going to pick up a majority or at least 50 seats, but it would be really interesting to see whether or not AOC could actually win that race. I'm actually kind of skeptical of that. And, it would be presumed that she would have to give up her House seat. So it's a pretty big risk to take, kind of a do-or-die situation, potentially. And it would be really difficult. Chuck Schumer is up for re-election in 2022. It would be a race for the ages, complete race for the ages. As noted in the article, AOC is a fundraising machine, just like Chuck Schumer is, except AOC would be nowhere near on the level of Chuck Schumer because Chuck Schumer would be getting a lot of money from corporate donors. But the primaries have more sort of stronger regulations on it when it comes to donations. When the general hits, it's a lot easier to get funding to do fundraising. But what I was thinking is, Kirsten Gillibrand is obviously a much easier target than Chuck Schumer is. The only thing is, Kirsten Gillibrand was reelected in 2018, which means that 2024 would be when she would be up for re-election. Kirsten Gillibrand is in a very vulnerable position because of what she did in terms of Al Franken, and that lost her a lot of support. And she's really weak and doesn't really seem to have much going for her, especially considering her campaign for president flopped really hard. So she would be much easier to unseat. But the thing about Kirsten Gillibrand is she actually has taken a much more progressive turn as time has gone on. And she actually ends up introducing a lot of legislation with Bernie Sanders. She had co-introduced, I believe, with Bernie Sanders a bill that would give workers stock in their businesses. So it's weird. So she would be a worse target in terms of she's not as conservative as Chuck Schumer is, at least recently. But she would be a far easier target to take down. But then you have to wait until 2024. And is AOC trying to run for president in 2024? I don't know. Who knows at this point? So it's going to be really interesting to see. But it'll definitely be a crazy race. This article right here from Buffalo News cites that political scientists are really excited for the idea of it to happen because they really want to see how it would turn out. I agree, but I would just be really anxious about the race because I really don't know how it would turn out, and I don't know if AOC would even be down to challenge him in the first place. But if it did, it would definitely be a hefty battle. But again, I think that Kirsten Gillibrand is a way easier target. But a Senate seat would be huge, huge. I think that would be a really transformational step for progressives to have, who's viewed as the leader of progressives right now, to basically take a seat in the Senate. That would be absolutely massive. So let me know your thoughts on this and how this would turn out down below.